So again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am very happy today because we are going to have another conversation on the business of taxi driving, mostly in the city of Nairobi. But I believe that information that we will share here is also applicable in any other city around the world where this model of taxi operation, is valuable, or valid. So if you are a taxi driver operating with the online digital platforms, that is, popularly Bolt, Uber, and others, depending in which country you are. But specifically for Kenya, there is a very big trend of drivers' dissatisfaction. And this is the myth that I want us to, open up today. We want to demystify why is it that taxi driving, especially those who operate the digital apps, are always known to be dissatisfied. What is the reason behind this? Is it that industry is so bad, but these the drivers are unable to quit because there is no other employment opportunity? My first analysis, indicates to the fact that the digital apps are not, very old in our markets. I think Uber arrived in Kenya around 2015, and before that, we used to operate with the old taxi models where you go into a yard where they park, you negotiate manually or physically, and then you fix the price at the discretion of the car owner or at the discretion of the driver, or how much the passenger is willing to pay. So back then it used to be quite a bit expensive. A distance of 10 kilometers could have costed you easily more than $50. But today, a similar distance, you will pay let's say less than $10. That is 1,000 shillings. While back then, when you used the old taxi models, you would pay around 5,000 Kenya shillings. So drivers who used to operate taxis back then, they feel highly it's called disenfranchised, like something has been taken away from them, because for a similar distance they would make so much, but today they are making, let's say, 10% of what they used to make for a similar distance. But the logic is this, these taxi apps are made to operate on the volume basis. So the more trips you make, that's where the money lies. While the old model of taxi operation, where you have to go to the yard, it was on the value of one trip. So the driver had to ensure that they maximize how much they get per trip, because maybe it is the only trip they would make in a day. So that is really a very hard point that most drivers have not been able to let go, and to embrace cheaper prices, but also embrace working harder and working longer hours, to meet the same target of finances per day. So that is the biggest one problem. Secondly, is poor management of expectations. There are jobs that are defined by their titles. There is a job that when you expect a certain amount of pay, whether it is in the informal or in the formal sector. If you get a job of, let's say, sales manager, northern part of Kenya, regardless of the company, it could be a very decent type of income that you sign in for with that job title. But this job of taxi, I don't really know whether the drivers don't have expectations or they are unable to manage their expectations. Because for me, I think it is a job that delivers, to its standard. Taxi driving is not a top tier job. It is not a job that will pay you 500,000 Kenya shillings per month. Nor shall it pay you 200,000. At its best, it will give you 150,000, 50, from 30,000 to 150, depending on your luck, how best you get good trips. and also how best you get riders who pay you a tip. And thirdly, your car and how much hours you work. It depends on on your efforts. If you wake up at 5 a.m. and work until 10 p.m., definitely your revenue will be very high. But the fatigue, sometimes you cannot tolerate it. You cannot put up. You will be tired the next day. You might not be able to work for as long hours as you may wish. So drivers must understand that this is a 30,000 shillings job per month that you are signing up for. But there is allowance for you to earn 5 times more if you work extra hard. So that is the type of job you should have in mind, so that when it gives you 100k per month, you appreciate. If it gives you 50, you appreciate. When it gives you 30,000 per month, at least it meets the basics, okay? But don't enter there with an expectation that you will be making 200,000, 300k, and then when that does not happen, you turn all your guns towards the founders of these apps. So that is a critical point that all of us need to be aware of. And then the last thing I want to inform everyone who wants to come into this business is that like just any other business, you have to know there are titles that you cannot apply for because ideally, by definition, they pay low. So the same thing when you come into the taxi business, you should have in mind an expectation of how much is good enough. Okay? So for me, given it is a taxi business, getting your 30,000 Kenya shillings is good. 100k is good enough. Okay? And something else that people overrate, they rate car depreciation. They overrate car depreciation. Okay, cars are very strong structures. That is one thing I have come to realize. Okay, so even if you say that by driving extra kilometers or so many kilometers for you to make money, your car is depreciating, the rate of its depreciation really it's not that much. It is not like how quickly it consumes fuel or petrol once you refill the tank. Okay, when you buy tires, good quality, it will cost you maybe 15,000 Kenya shillings, the 4 tires.